Welcome back to the Social Therapy Podcast, where we talk about lifestyle opportunities, self love, and self care. We're gonna hold you accountable because you are the CEO, and this party don't run without you. Okay, so. If you're new here, you may not know that we haven't been online in like a month or so. And it's because, we had some technical stuff going on. I had a few people asking, so let me just go ahead and break it down for you real quick, okay? Like my laptop went out, my microphone went out, my camera went out. Like it was all just like it was rough over here for your girl, right? And I was this close to giving up. Like I think I might have gave up. But you know what? It was the number of people who were still like joining my Facebook group and still following me on Instagram and still following me and following up on TikTok that made me realize, like, you know what, Rhonda? You can't give up. You just started something. So I done got my stuff together. Shout out to motivatedcoffee.com, our sponsor, because themselves be paying our bills around here, okay? Okay, so now that we back, let's go ahead and get into today's topic, today's episode, right? Today we're talking about how much does it cost to feel good about you? How much does it cost? And it's not all monetary, okay? It's also at a cost of you, of yourself, and we're going to get into that, okay? Now, as you already know, I got my notes here, so you see me looking down. That's what's going on. That's what's going on. So I got a couple of questions I want to ask, and I want you to, pull out the Notes app in your phone. If you have the YouTube subscription, this should still keep on playing in the background. It should. Or pull out a pen and paper. Like, it's always great to put pen to paper. I started believing in that when I was in high school. I had to take a hiatus out of school for like 3 months or whatever. And when I was doing my homework at home, being homeschooled, basically, right? It was easier for me to retain the information if I wrote it down, read it out loud. It became a part of me, right? It's like I imprinted it into my brain. And since I'm a hands-on learner, that's what works for me. So that's what I practice even to this day. So yeah, go ahead and grab you a pen and paper and let's answer these questions. All right. Okay, so the first question is, what is the ideal version of yourself? When you think about you, right? I think about me. I'm like, okay, what's the ideal version of me? What does she look like? Right? Is she fit? Is she thick? Is she fit and thick? Is she slim thick? Right? I mean, how does she wear her hair? How does she wear her makeup? How does she smell? Do you have a signature scent? What kind of soap do you use? Are you at Bath and Body Works or are you at a department store? Are you wearing high-end scents? I mean, all that stuff go together. You got to make sure that your bath, lotion, body spray, that has to go in sync with your perfume. That's all has to go together. You can't be having your scents clashing, okay? And you gotta make sure it goes with like your pheromones as well. And if you got some funky pheromones, you might want to start drinking more water. Okay, and want to know how you know if you have some funky pheromones? I just made that up. But for real though, so we have pheromones, and that's like what attracts the opposite sex to us, right? It has something to do with it. It does. So if your pheromones are strong, right? It's like a silent scent. Like we cannot smell it, and like men, they can't even really put their finger on what it is. But uh, when you match up with somebody and they just find themselves like uncontrollably like attracted to you, they don't really know what it is about you. That's what it is. So if you want to clean that up and start attracting better, you might want to start drinking more water. Eat some pineapples or something. How does she feel? And I'm saying this in two senses, right? The ideal version of yourself, how does she feel? How does she, like, is her skin soft, right? How does she feel on the inside? Does she love herself? Does she have high self-esteem? Like, how does she feel about herself? And what does she do? What does she do for a living? What's her job? What does she do for a hobby? How does she distract herself from things that are stressing her out? Like me personally, I crochet. You would never believe that, but it's true. I crochet and I make like crocheted animals or whatever. I think it's called like origami. Don't get me to pronouncing it wrong, which I think I just did, but I do that. And I like to crochet because you can frog it and start over, right? It's a cheap hobby. But what are her hobbies? What does she like to do on her free time? What does she like to do when things are rough, when things are good? How does she celebrate? Who does she like to be around? Who are her closest friends? Who would you like her closest friends to be? Right? They say what the closest five people to you are like basically who you are. Do you have any friends? Like if it's the five closest people to you, and you ain't even got five people close to you, who are you leaning on? Who are you abstracting from? Who are you bouncing ideas off of? Right? And if you do have people around you, and if you feel yourself outgrowing them, then it's time to level up. So you can start to surround yourself with the type of people who are on what you on, who are doing what you doing, and who can stick in the conversation with you. Because you really don't want to be the smartest person in the room. You want someone to be able to tell you something sometimes too. And that's the issue that I had found myself having, was with me being an entrepreneur and me being so thirsty to learn and dip my finger in different things, like, like financial literacy, right? Trying to learn how to invest, trying to learn how to build financial wealth, how to build, there's different things for me and my family. And if nobody around me is on none of that, every time I learn something new, I'm teaching them, which is fine, but I need somebody to be able to talk to that's doing it already. So we could be like, yeah, did you hear about this? Yeah, I do this. Yeah, 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 yeah. I know I'm on track. And so even if you do have five close people to you, are y'all on the same thing? Or is it time to level up? And I'm not saying like leave your friends and family in the dust. Everybody got their place in your life. But sometimes it is also okay to have another sector of people in your life who feed you, who break bread with you. It's going to help you grow and get to that next level. For real. And the final question is, how is she living? What does her home look like, smell like? Where is it located? Is it close to things that are convenient for her? Is it conducive to the things that we just talked about? Are you living somewhere that allows you to make it to the gym in a decent amount of time? Or is there a gym on the premises already? Do you live somewhere that when you walk in the house, you feel at ease, you feel relaxed, you feel like this is home? Or do you get stressed out when you walk up in there because your kids just got stuff in all disarray and whatever is going on up in there? Right? Is it a curated lifestyle of who you are? Like, I feel like when you walk into your home, I should be like, if I walk into your home, I should have an idea of what kind of person you are, or a little idea of what you into, what you be on. If you are a real glam girl, when I walk in, it should be kind of glam up in there. If you went to the ocean, if you like to fish or whatever, when I come in, I might see some remnants of, coral or fish pictures or something, right? Music, something to let me know this is what you into. Because when you surround yourself with the positive things about yourself and things that remind you of who you are, it's easier to get up out of a funk because you're in a place that brings you peace. The next question is, Based off of what you're doing right now, how things are going right now, at this stage in your life, are you living your best life? It's okay if you're not. I'm not. I'm getting there, but I'm not, right? But if you're not, what are you doing to get there? Not only that, how do you define your best life? What is it that will make this point in your life your best life? Like, are you able to go where you want to go when you feel like it? Is that your best life? Are you able to get all the designer things? Is that your best life? Are you catching flights, not feelings? Are you married? You got kids? Are you having dinner parties? What's your best life? And is that what you're doing right now? And if not, what do you have to do to get there? That's what you want to write out. What does my best life look like? And what do I have to do to get to where I would consider I'm living my best life? And the final question, well, it's not really the final question. I don't know why I said that. Are you feeling good about where you are right now and on your path to living your best life, right? And on your path to retiring the way you want to retire, whether that means retiring early or late? How does your bank account make you feel? So we getting deep. I'm getting all up in your business today, okay? I'm all up in your business, honey. Yes, okay? Get it together. Let's get it in order. And this is what this podcast is about. Like every week, and I'm thinking I might start doing more than once a week. Maybe twice a week. What y'all think? I'm feeling saucy. Maybe twice a week. I need to do that, right? Okay, so that's what we go over in this podcast is like, not only we asking these questions, but we discuss like how to get there, how to level up, how to boss up. And I'm going on this journey with y'all. I really am, because I feel like you're never too old to learn. You never know everything. And you learn something new every day. And as you learn different things, you are able to apply that to your life. And as we have different experiences, whether they be good or bad, we take something from those experiences and we apply them to our lives, right? So even if something goes wrong and you lose a lot of money, or you lose a friend, or a deal doesn't go the way you anticipated it going, before you give up and put all your focus into that one area that did not go right for you today and start bad mouthing and bad talking yourself, you got to take the time to sit back and be like, okay, let's break this down. What happened? How did it happen? What could have been done differently? What can I learn from this? This is what I learned from this. We're going to go back at it. We're going to do it again, but this time with experience. And even if you keep having to do something over and over again, every time you do it, you gain more experience. How do you think you become professional at something? How do you think you form a habit? If you play basketball, your first time touching the ball, you're not swishing every shot, right? You're not. I mean, you might. You just might have that God-given talent. But for the most part, professional ball players, they be in practice, right? We in practice every day of our lives here. We live in this life, and we are, every day that goes by, every hour that goes by, every minute that goes by, we should be moving with intention, and we should be learning as we go along and applying that wealth of knowledge to whatever it is we want to achieve with ourselves, because we have to be working towards something. Even if you are not an entrepreneur, even if you don't have a business and you just go to work every day, you are working towards a paycheck. You are working towards retirement. You have your 401k. There is an end goal at some point in your life. You don't plan on doing it forever. I mean, I know a few retirees, but that's a choice. Because now they got 2 checks coming in. 2, maybe 3. I'm just saying. So just keep that in mind, right? Okay, moving on. How much does it cost? How much does it cost you not to be this version of yourself? What is it costing you? Everything that we talked about, all the questions that I asked you, and you wrote down the answers to it, and these are the things that make you feel like you are content, make you feel like, you know what, I'm good, I'm doing the thing, right? I'm doing this, I'm a boss, whatever it is. By you ignoring your needs to bring you to a state of excitement or peace of celebration, what is it costing you not to do those things? It's like, it's so often that we find ourselves in a position where we are constantly taking care of other people where we don't take care of ourselves. You have kids, you have your parents, maybe you grew up taking care of your siblings, being there for everybody. And now you don't know how to be there for yourself, right? And so now you're still taking care of everybody. You still are putting everyone else first before you. It is time to be selfish. And I know that myself, like for a long time, you're told that being selfish is selfish. It's not a good thing. It's a bad trait to have, especially as a woman, right? Or you're selfish, or you're stuck up, or you're an a-hole. I'm an a-hole because you're not getting your way with me, right? I'm selfish because I'm putting my needs and my health and my mental stability and my needs first. Because I'm putting my family first. Because I'm putting me first. I'm selfish, right? I'm stuck up because I don't want to dwell in an area that I've outgrown. That's fine. It's fine. I'm going to be stuck up. I'm going to be bougie. I'm going to be an a-hole, right? I'm going to be selfish. You got to pick and choose when it's okay to be selfish and when it's okay to be selfless. Don't get them mixed up. Because if you selfless in the wrong times, you're going to end up losing out on everything. And them same folks will walk right past you like you ain't never done nothing for them. You find out who your people is when you're down. That's all I'm saying. And once you've been down, you don't never want to be down there again. And you know where you stand with people. I'm just saying. So what does it cost you? It costs you your life. It costs you your mental health. It costs you your peace. It costs you your self-esteem, esteem of yourself. It costs your family. As much as you think that you are helping everybody around you by putting them before you, the vibe that you give off is unhealthy. Them seeing you not take care of yourself is unhealthy. For them, it's a problem. You are subconsciously instilling that concept into them too. Well, they grow up and they do the same things. They were well taken care of, but now their focus is not taking care of themselves. You have to teach yourself and the people you love that it's okay to take care of yourself. So go ahead, get that bi-weekly nail appointment, right? Go ahead, get your hair done professionally. Go ahead and get that massage every month. Go to the spa. Go ahead and take yourself on a little trip. Go to the beach by yourself or with your man or your wife or whoever. Right? Go ahead. Go to the bar and have a drink. An expensive one that you don't normally be at, if that's your thing. Right? Go ahead and get a wax instead of shaving. What I learned is all those things aren't that expensive. For a long time, I felt like I wanted these things for myself, but gosh, I can't afford that. It costs so much. Until I actually got into doing it, and I'm like, this don't cost that much. This is kind of cheap. Even the best package is kind of cheap, right? If I go get a pedicure, I can get a basic one for $35. Or I can get the one with the, with the candle wax soap and all that dipping and stuff. And it's like $65 with the no chip. So it's actually cheaper because with the no chip, it's going to last longer. And I don't have to go back in a week and get a polish change. Right? So it's like, Take the time out and invest in yourself, love on yourself. And when other people see you loving on yourself, they know what your standards are and what your expectations are, and they're not going to disrespect that. But as long as you keep putting everything and everybody in front of you and not taking care of yourself like you're supposed to, everybody going to think that you just like you put yourself last, they can put you last too. They expect you to accept less because you accept less from yourself. It took me a long time to realize that. And it's true. So start putting yourself first so other people can observe you and see that they need to put you first as well. They need to be considerate of you as well. Don't put me on the back burner. Don't treat me like second place. Okay? Don't treat me like the plate you don't want at the family reunion that ends up in the back of the refrigerator and then thrown away because you forgot what was even in it and it's been in there so long. Don't do me like that. You know? So I'm going to give y'all an example of something about being presentable, right? I mean, this is like a raising your self-esteem. This is feeling good about yourself because let's just be honest. We need other people for something. If you have a business, you need other people to buy your stuff and your services, right? If you're a pilot, you need a plane. You need people on the plane to fly them somewhere. The plane need people to build it, to maintain it, right? If you're a pilot, you need people to maintain the plane so you don't fall out the sky. I'm just saying. Speaking of airports, okay, so this is my experience, right? So normally when I go somewhere, you know, I'll be up in there comfortable. I mean, a little sweatsuit outfit or something with a little ball cap on. You know, makeup might be done, it might not be. Just depends on if it's an early flight or not. You know, my luggage might match, it might not be. You know what I'm saying? Then it was like, I went to Vegas or something, and I was dressed up. I was just coming from somewhere else. I was actually feeling, hold on. So this is a Paloma. Be sipping tonight. I meant to tell y'all that. Basically, a Paloma is tequila, grapefruit juice, lime juice. That's it, right? I got some dehydrated grapefruits up in here, some ice cubes. I put a little simple syrup in mine because I like my drinks to be sweet, but cheers, baby. All this talking gets you out up in here. Okay, so anyway. Oh, so normally when I go to the airport, you know, I'll be comfortable. I'm not really even caring about who see me. I'm not up in there trying to find nobody, right? But on this particular day, I was coming from somewhere and I was dressed to impress. And, you know, and I had just bought me some new luggage because my other luggage was ratchet. It wasn't even that it was tore up. It was just cheap looking. And you know, like I said, I've been leveling up, so I went and got me some better luggage. It's not name brand, anything like that, because you know they be stealing. They be looking in your stuff. It's just cute, classic. That's all it is. So I'm up in here, you know, I get up in there, stop at Starbucks, get my little coffee, right? You know, I go to the little stand, make sure I check my check-in, get my seat assignment, because I didn't get my assignment online. And the girl kind of looked me over. She was like, "You cute, okay, I see you." It's like, thanks. She gave me a free pass to go to the VIP room or something like that. Baby, let me tell you something about United Airlines in this VIP room. Now, I know about everywhere else, but I know how it was for me, flying out of Chicago, whatever, right? Free drinks, free snacks and stuff, TV, relax, baby. I was like, oh, okay. I mean, it helped that I was on first class that particular day or whatever. But yeah, I was in a little VIP room. I was like, okay, I like this in the lounge. I'm in the lounge. What? Chargers everywhere. And it was free. I mean, it do cost, like you can, I didn't even know that existed, right? But you can upgrade your ticket to get into the lounge. But she gave it to me for free. It was an experience I had never had at the airport before. I said, I can't go back. I'm spoiled now. But it was all based off of my appearance and how I looked in the airport. I can't go back. I'm spoiled now. Now, every time I go to the airport, I gotta have it together. I gotta look like somebody's boss walking up in there, like somebody's celebrity sister. Just saying. Like, shoot, I need that treatment every day, okay? So, how you present yourself, how you be coming through, it really does matter. It does. It really does matter. 'Cause y'all was tripping on Monique when she was talking about them bonnets, baby. But I wasn't really feeling her either because I didn't like her delivery on how she said it, but it's the truth. Stop going through the airport looking a hot mess. You be getting perks. You get perks for looking good. And you already know you get perks for looking good anyway, but you want those perks. Those are the perks you want. Okay? And then it's a networking opportunity. When you look approachable and you look like you might know something, people are more willing to converse with you, strike up a conversation with you. And you never know. It could be somebody you could do business with or, you know, need or call on down the line. Remember me from the airport in Chicago? We was flying together on United flight number so and so and so and so. How you doing? Let's talk, right? I'm just saying. So, I say that to say this. Whatever areas in your life that you feel like you lacking in today, change it today, okay? Don't wait till tomorrow. Change it today. Make a budget today and see what can I afford to change? What can I afford to upgrade right now? And if your money tight, do something on the side that brings in money just for that, right? If your main source of income is taking care of your home and you really don't have nothing left over, and I know what that's like, then maybe get a little side something that brings in money just for these changes you need to make in order to become your best self. That brings in money for the down payment on the new house. That brings in money for the new car that you want, if it's a specific one you want, because you deserve it. Get you a little side hustle, sell some stuff on Amazon FBA. I sell on Amazon FBA. I make decent money on there. I have a couple of books on Kindle, that brings in passive income. I wrote them books 5 years ago, and I'm still making anywhere between $50 to like $150 a month, and it's on like five little workbooks. Every now and then it's like, oh, you got money. I'd be like, dang, for real? Okay, I'll take it. So, sell some stuff on Etsy. I don't know. I wouldn't recommend getting into crafting though, because that's addictive and you'll spend more than you make. I'm just saying. But yeah, bring in another source of income if you have to, so you can start achieving what it takes to feel good about yourself, right? To stop talking down on yourself, to stop feeling like whatever negative vibes that you've been giving yourself. Because believe it or not, however you talk to yourself, that's how you feel on the inside. Just imagine like you're an adult, but there's like the child version of yourself is inside here. And every time you say something negative to yourself, you're talking to that kid in there. And you're just beating them up verbally. You're verbally abusing the child version of yourself that's in here, right? And then that's why when something bad happens, it affects you so hard. And that's why you take it so hard, because you've been verbally and emotionally abusing that version of yourself. Every time you say, I can't do nothing right. Why does this keep happening to me, right? Start uplifting that kid in there, right? Start building her up. So basically, make an avatar of the ideal version of yourself. Write down all the things we talked about today. The ideal you. Then I want you to become her. Move with intention. That's just like for me, right? I have acne prone skin. I have hyperpigmentation. The ideal version of me does not have acne prone skin, does not have hyperpigmentation and the dark spots behind the scars from breaking out. The ideal version of me doesn't have that. So I had to bring in another source of income to go to the dermatologist, to invest in the topical medicines that they tell me to use that my insurance don't cover 100%, to drink more water, to work out more, to bring more peace into my life and get rid of some of the stress and the dead weight, right? To do things that bring me peace. And as I started doing those things, I started clearing up, right? To buy makeup that my skin doesn't have a negative reaction to, so that when I wear it, it's not counteracting everything else that I'm doing, right? So it's like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, start today on doing the things that bring you closer to your ideal self. Okay? And it's, some of the things when you're building your avatar, just keep in mind, like, what does she look like? Like I said, my ideal version, doesn't have the hyperpigmentation. You can see I still have some here, right? But I mean, it's all a process. It's all coming together. I'm not going to put makeup on my arms. How does she walk? When she walks into the room, how do people respond to her? First of all, how do they respond to you? And then how do they respond to your avatar? And then make that happen. How does she talk? Does she talk like she knows something? Does she pronounce her words fully? Does she have an accent? She sound educated? Is she a rapper? How does she talk? And how does she handle conflict when things aren't going her way with somebody? Does she pop off? Does she hold it in? Does she keep her cool? How does she handle conflict? All of that, everything we talked about today, all of that goes into building your avatar. And then once you build your avatar, I want you to look at it and read it to yourself out loud. And as you're reading it, imagine it in your head, right? And as you're reading who your avatar is and you're piecing these things about this avatar together in your mind, right? I want you to imagine yourself becoming this version of yourself and what it feels like. Channel into what it feels like to be your avatar. And then every day, as you make decisions that bring you closer to becoming that version of yourself, you will start to feel good about you. All right, you guys. Thank you for tuning in today. Like always, if you know somebody who could use this episode, share it. Share it with somebody you know, okay? And make sure you follow us on social media. Make sure you follow us here on YouTube, on Facebook Podcasts, on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify Podcasts, right? We're also on TikTok. We're also on, we have a Facebook group, and we're on Instagram. And I need to get on Twitter, but I'm figuring it out. Like, I just made an account, and I'm figuring that out. But make sure you follow us and hit the bell so you know when the next episode drops. And if you have any suggestions, let me know in the inbox or comment below. And if you want to be on here, if you want to get with me and we can do a little back and forth, and you can tell me what you think about some things, I'm in. I'm all for it, okay? All right, you guys. So until next time, like I said, I might start doing twice a week. It just depends on how things are going with this hardware, baby. Oh my gosh, so stressed out. Hopefully it's working this time. All right, you guys. Peace.
Okay, I'm back, out fresh on the scene. Franchise best on the team. Blue faces bustin' out the scene. New life is something like a dream.